Hello and welcome to a look at Purple Heart for the Commodore 64, a game that was released by CRL. The objective in this game is to navigate and infiltrate and navigate whichever order you feel like you have to do it in the six different enemy locations in order to defeat the enemies and anyone engaged in military activity. Except for vehicles and aircrafts, which you are recommended to avoid, and there's a very good reason for that, because you can't fight back against them. So off you trot, either playing a single player game or a two-player team game, where of course the two players will play simultaneously. And then you have to navigate the different areas in a very predetermined fashion. Once you get to a certain point on the screen, there will be an arrow appearing that will indicate which direction you need to move. And those arrows are usually also warnings about vehicles showing up of some description, either cars or incoming aircraft. And the cars will just try to run you over, but the aircraft will definitely try to hurt you rather badly by dropping an awful lot of ordnance in your general direction. As you go along the different areas, enemies will of course appear and try and shoot at you. But thankfully for you, they are not particularly good at it, and part of their military training did not include firing at angles, which is your ticket to defeating the enemies with relative ease. To compensate for their inability to shoot at any angles, they are given the ability to lob hand grenades at infinitum, and their shots can ignore buildings, trees, fences, whatever else. So while they cannot engage you at an angle, you can still have the screen somewhat flooded with shots and grenades, making it a bit challenging to navigate. You have access to several different weapons that you can pick up in order to defeat enemies, and the different weapons are shotguns, which is a dual shot, machine gun, which fires fast, supposed to at least, and then a flamethrower that when you fire will leave a flame patch for about half a second, and any enemy running into that flame patch will die from it. And then of course you have the grenade launcher, which will fire off a grenade that will do a spinning explosion kind of thing and defeat any enemies entering that explosion kind of thing. The downside to specifically the rocket launcher is the fact that you can have one shot active on the screen at the time. So if you fire off a shot, you have to wait for the full animation thing of the grenade going off before you can fire the next shot. So if you have enemies closing in on you, you are effectively defenseless in that situation. Once you have worked your way through the different levels, you will have an end of level kind of boss. In this first level, it is a gun emplacement fortress thing that you have to defeat. And the problem with that is the fact that you have to defeat it in a very specific way, because if you do not do that, you will find yourself in a position where, unless you have life spare, you can be in a no-win situation. Because as you can see on the screen, we have 3 gun things firing at you, and you need to destroy them in order to complete the level. But as you knock out individual gun turrets even, the others will start firing faster and faster and faster. And standing in front of them and trying to shoot at them is completely and utterly suicide. So you have to fire them at an angle. But if you approach from the wrong angle, you cannot do damage to the gun emplacement, and will therefore have to run past its shots in order to get a better firing angle at it. And If it's the last one remaining and you are on the wrong side, you'll most assuredly not be able to get around its shots. Once you have defeated the whatever it might be, you move on to the next level, which is a different theme and different obstacles and traps and dangers and whatnot to avoid. From a graphical point of view, this is bear in mind, of course, this is a game from 1988. I would say it's definitely not bad. It's not necessarily particularly stellarly epic, but the backgrounds represent what you want them to represent based on the theme of the level you are currently in, and the different men and enemies, they look like men and enemies. Vehicles are vehicles, and helicopters are helicopters, and all that good stuff. It's definitely not bad in any way, shape, or form, but depending on your personal um, requirements, you may find it good or not good. There are no sound effects, so that is very, very easily skipped. And the one tune that is, which is both the title tune and in level tune, it's decent of quality and it's quite pleasant to listen to, except for the fact that it's about 70-80 seconds long and then it starts repeating. So you will be hearing that tune playing at all times, and depending on whether you like it or not, that can be rather daunting. I didn't dislike the tune, but I have to admit I did find it a bit um, repetitive after a while. The controls are what you hope them to be: left, right, up, down, all that good stuff. Hit the Y button to shoot stuff. And should probably quickly go over the interface because it is of some importance. The number next to the skull thing is your lives. Under that you have the name of the player, which of course is the 1-up, and a bar next to that, which is the indicator of how many shots you have left of the currently equipped weapon. Underneath that you have your score, and yeah, it should be rather self-explanatory. This game has a two-player mode, and it feels like it's been designed around the two-player mode, which is a good thing because it is a two-player simultaneous game. But playing it single player, you can feel a bit shafted because of the positional requirements. I mentioned the gun emplacement earlier. I'm fairly sure if you are playing two players, you could have player 1 go left and player 2 go right, and they could both engage the gun emplacement without any of them having to run through a hail of bullets in order to get into a firing position. The challenge of the different levels is not the enemies, the challenge is avoiding spikes, water, and getting what feels like randomly hit by helicopters flying in, dropping tons of ordnance in your general direction. The lack of sound effects is not benefiting this game, and while it plays perfectly fine, it's not necessarily particularly exciting. It's not good, it's not bad, and you most likely need a friend to play this one with. On that note, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.